welcome back to Chat with Olajumoke. It's always a pleasure having you join me. Remember, Chat with Olajumoke is a place where we talk about all things better living. And with me are my co-hosts. Everybody say hi.
Hi.
All right. So on our last episode, I think it was during our game, something came up and there was a topic that popped up and we said we're going to talk about it. And so that's what we're going to be discussing today. And the topic is, if God has said, before I formed you, I knew you, and we are made in the image and likeness of God, why are children born with some medical conditions and disabilities? So God said, before I formed you, I knew you. God is not maimed, God is not disabled. So why is it that you have some children that have heart conditions, some children are born blind, and several other things? So why? Who should I start from?
She will start first.
And
I know she starts from her. Do you know why I said she's going to start first? She was the one that brought up that.
Yes. Oh yeah, start.
I know there's going to be a motive behind that.
Oh, really? Okay. It's not like there's a motive, but I don't know. But I just feel like I would say that I remember that sometimes I've actually thought about it when I see people, with some certain kind of medical conditions, or probably when at birth, you just give birth to a child, you see that they will tell you now that that child has a hole in their heart and all that, and it takes my mind back to the fact that as Christians, we know what the Bible said, concerning us being made in the image and likeness of God, concerning us saying that before I formed thee, in that means God knew that, right, that child is going to have a medical condition. Well, sometimes, I started thinking about it in a different light, and I realized that also it can also be as a reflection of probably not just about that what God said. It might be that there was a mistake somewhere. Maybe mistake in where in yes, in the sense that probably sometimes probably like a medication that was taken during pregnancy or something. So I don't know if I can stop here, so I won't just keep talking and somebody else can.
Okay,
Just to say, do you know when Lazarus died? Jesus said something that it was for the glorification of.
Yeah.
So when you think about it, there are some of these children that they are made that way to glorify God.
Yeah.
There are some, aside from those with medical issues. For me, my thought is that some of those children are for the glorification of. So what you are saying now is What you are saying now is a child born with
Heart condition.
condition that child was in pain throughout his lifetime, or maybe he later got, or she later got help from doctors and all that. But through that pain, what is the
How is it
glorification
glorifying God?
exactly
Now,
in that aspect?
if you know, we already spoke about it not being a medical, like caused by the father or the mother's medical
I
condition.
think we should also look at
Already
it
took
in
that.
both direction.
No, if
Yeah.
if it is not a case of the father or mother's medical, there are some medical
Things like
conditions
diabetes
that you
Yeah.
know
can come from
that you
just
could
birth.
avoid.
They are hereditary.
Yes, some are
Okay.
hereditary. There are some that you could just avoid. Now, in cases where it's not avoided, what comes up is if there hadn't ever been a child with a hole in the heart, there would never have been a doctor who would study how to cure the hole in the heart. If there had never been a chance of a child being diabetic at birth, there would never be a pediatrician who would study about diabetes in children.
Okay, so it's good to look at it this way. But the person that is going through that pain is not thinking that God is using someone to,
glorify anything.
Yes, the person is in pain, the person is in. There was nowhere in the Bible where God said we were going to be pain free. The only thing He said was that He wasn't going to, we weren't going to come across a challenge that would that we will not be able to overcome.
Yeah.
You understand? So, for like someone said something one day when two people were talking, and someone was like, my own pain is more than yours. The woman now said, see, you might feel your pain is more than mine, but if you had to wear my shoes, you may not survive it. You understand? So for me, I feel that everything, it has a purpose. It's not fun when you see your child just having malaria alone, the way we always feel.
Mm-hmm.
Or the child says, "Oh, mommy, I can't poo poo." Your heart is already in your mouth. Yes. But there are certain times when it is for the glorification of God. Then to say this, when I think in secondary school, I read a book called Clowns of God. The way that book explained what we're talking about was like God He keeps some people away from sin that they might be glorified with Jesus. That was just the way. The book was not a Christian book. It wasn't a Christian book. It
Okay.
was pure fiction.
Okay.
But that was the way the book was. That was the way the author
because
was.
I
Like,
discussed
it just kept
I
staying back.
discussed this matter with my husband. I said, to me, he said he creates us in his own image.
Yeah.
So it shows those children are created in his image. So why leaving them to carry such pain,
Such burden.
such burden?
Because to me, it's
Innocent
like a
Because
burden.
innocent children, they know nothing about this world.
Mm.
It's even if it is their parents' sins, they shouldn't have walked into that path. The pain, because most of the children will not even, maybe some will spend 10, 11 years. Most of them will not even enjoy a day.
Yeah.
A day.
Mm.
And constant pain every day. Why will such happen when we are created in his image?
Okay, so I would say that we say that God loves us. I created you in my image and everything. But then He won't create us to go through pain, through odds. One of the major things, I think Precious mentioned it the other time, that causes this kind of thing is maybe some hormonal imbalance
Imbalance.
or some irregularities in the formation of the child or
Yeah.
conception,
Mm-hmm.
some of those things. Because I believe that when I'm not in biology, I'm not a science person, so I don't know how these things happen. But I know that when the sperm and the egg meet, it's okay and the thing forms. But in that process of formation, something went wrong somewhere.
Yeah.
In that process of formation, something. So it's not as if how do I put this now? It's not as if he created is a pot like a potter or a clay and he just created a thing. There is something that would happen before the child is born. So in the process, just like you're cooking something, for example, in the process of your cooking, something can just go wrong. Maybe you added too much salt
So,
or you added too
or
much
the salt is
pepper.
not even
Yes.
enough.
It doesn't still mean that God is not God. It just meant that I feel, this is my opinion, I feel like, yes, before I formed you, I knew you. But something went wrong in the process of creation. Yes, God is sovereign. He should have stopped.
Thank
He
you.
should have stopped it. Why did you allow this to happen?
He,
He should have
he
stopped
said,
it.
even before we were formed,
Yes.
before we
And
were
before I
formed,
formed you.
yes, he knows everything that is going to happen. So even at that, I believe in God. Not that I don't believe in God, but even at that, there's some cases that shouldn't have happened. I think there was a lady. She said she did everything that a mother would do when she was pregnant. Antenatal, the normal
The
drugs,
medications.
everything. But at the end of the day, the child came in as, I think, three major disorder. She's a Christian. She prayed. She a lot of things. So now tell me, if I want to preach to that woman, I will now tell her that don't worry, it might be the cause of this, because of that.
Person will say because you're not even in my position. That's why
That's
you're
why
saying
you're
this.
That is it. That's for me.
Okay, you wanted to say
Because
something.
I don't know, I think in the journey of life, that's why we all don't have the same journey. Right? Because what even jet this topic in my mind was the fact that I can remember really I have I know someone very close that gave birth and this child came without an anus, right?
Wow.
Yes, so this child came without an anus. So and that's I don't know, I was in my office that day and I just started crying. And I was like, what did
How?
this child do?
Is there a surgery they can do to fix
Yes,
that?
yes. There was a surgery that was done, but of course it's not 50 kobo.
Yeah.
So it comes with a lot of emotions and all that. Like, okay, what's wrong did this child do? So that
And
thing
you
has
are very
always.
sure that person did everything. So
Okay, so let me tie this to this other part. So sometimes you see good people. and bad things happen to good people. You see someone that is not doesn't deserve to die, and the
Yeah.
person dies. And the people that deserve to die, people that have actually been very terrible, living a terrible life, those
Living their
ones
life.
are living the life. Or maybe in school there was a girl that was at Willow Show, for example,
Yeah.
and the girl is happily married, she has
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
But there is
But
this
you that didn't do
you didn't do
anything.
anything,
Oh
you
my
don't
God.
have no husband, you are finding it difficult to conceive.
A lot.
Why does these things happen?
You will not be asking yourself like,
No, the thing is that when good people, when they are settled, when they are happy, when they don't have any struggles, they usually find purpose. Then their purpose, they start blessing lives.
Mm.
And the devil will now sit back and allow such a person just be blessing lives. Number one. Number two, when someone who lives life anyhow, when that person now gets everything done, it looks attractive to a young girl. And the young girl is like, she will jolly away. This person enjoyed life, and at the end of the day, she's married, she has children. This one, that one. My opinion is that there is a way the devil makes the other side look so attractive.
Yeah.
Then the good person, by the time the person is the person starts having options. Like for someone that doesn't have, that is not married, a good girl who is married, maybe she married as a virgin, but she doesn't have any children. By the time her in-laws start on her neck, another in-law will start offering her options. There's somebody somewhere. She will sit down and she will now go like, just maybe that is the option. You understand? And the devil has this way of making our issues seem like you are the only one. It has never happened to anybody. It will never happen to anybody. It is only the devil has that way of. So whatever option comes in at that point in time, someone just like picks it.
Okay. Does anybody have anything to say?
okay, I would say I know we're looking at it from a very extreme perspective, like okay, a child that was born with a bone in the heart. It can even be as simple as I've seen a child with hypertension, a child of 9 years old. I've seen a child of 5 years old with diabetes. These are
Diabetes,
hereditary,
yeah.
Yes, they are
Stuff.
yeah,
hereditary.
and it can even be as simple as, let me not use the word simple, but simple as asthma, right?
Yes.
So it can even be as simple as allergy.
Yes.
So whatever it is, I would just say that um, I believe that it was God that gave medical people the brain or the mind behind,
Yeah.
creating some certain
Those
kinds of
things.
things that we can manage, because most of these things cannot be cured,
No.
totally. But with the help of God, of course, as Christians, we can believe that these things can, be cured totally. But however it is, whoever is watching us that, probably might be going through things like this, probably managing a child with a condition or the other, just keep trusting God, and don't give up on the medication too,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
While you're trusting God,
God.
Yes.
take the medications when necessary,
Yeah,
and manage.
we will
Accept
get to
them.
that
Yeah,
point of encourage
yeah.
whoever is going through this. But I also want to say that before I go to I think the last question I want to talk about,
Mm.
or that I want us to talk about, is that sometimes God does not make sense. Like I
Mm.
remember when
Yeah.
I lost my dad, and I kept asking why, because it didn't
Mm.
make sense to me. Why? And for a long time, in fact, when I just heard the news, I would just be quiet and I just say, because I just kept thinking that it
It
didn't
wasn't
make
real.
sense. Why? Why this man did not deserve to die?
Mm.
So good things happen to bad people. There are
Mm.
there are people that are watching us right now, and
Mm.
they are going through things that they don't
Yeah.
deserve it.
Yeah.
They
Everything life shaky.
yes. But sometimes God does not make sense. But it doesn't
Yeah.
change the fact that He is still God.
God.
So have that at the back of, and He doesn't
He's
love
God.
you less
Mm.
for anything. He
Yes.
doesn't love you
True.
less.
Yeah.
True.
So
God.
at this point, we have talked. I'm sure that we have not been able to talk about some deeper things that people are going
They're
through.
going
But
through.
then I think we need to just say a word of encouragement to someone that is going through stuff right now.
Mm.
Maybe that lady that kept herself and she doesn't have a child yet,
Mm.
or that lady that doesn't have a husband yet and she's 40, or that woman that has a child that is autistic, or that has a hole in the heart,
Yeah.
or that is born with no anus, like you said. How do we
Mm.
encourage these people? Who wants to encourage? Who wants to start encouraging?
To me, let me speak from my angle. When I lost my dad too, everything surrounding his death was not really okay to me, because people from other side of the bed, people from other side of the bed. My father is still, his own health is still better than
Those
from
Okay,
this
other
okay, you mean
people.
like
side,
in the
from this
hospital?
exactly in the
Oh,
So he was
hospital.
not even supposed
He
to
was
die.
exactly, he was not
Those worst
supposed,
ones when he was in worst
yes,
conditions rather.
he was not supposed to die. So eventually he did,
mm,
and he left. Thank God there was a war that time. It was her. I don't think I've discussed this thing with her. She was the one that said it. She said it in Yoruba, so I'll say it in Yoruba. She said, ẹ ṣe dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run pé bàbá yín lọ sí mi. He said, think of it in another dimension. He was amputated, fine. And wọ́n gbé wọn wálé.
mm,
Your mom will be the one taking care of him. His other leg is not okay again. Okay. A máa gbé wọn káàkiri. Your mom will now be the one suffering. He's the one on the bed.
mm.
Àwọn ló ń gbé kiri. Àwọn ló
Taking
máa
everybody
dáná.
And you guys are
Àwọn ló
living
máa
your
ṣe
life.
gbogbo ẹ̀. Exactly.
Be with your husband.
I will leave her. My sister, my brother, everybody will leave her. She will be the one alone with him. Àwọn ló máa jẹ ìyà that want him to be alive.
And so it's not even now about,
So
sorry to cut you, my dear. Sometimes it's not even just about the person that is even around. It's going to deter, or the other people are still going to feel it. Maybe financially.
financially,
Yeah.
yes,
And
and
sometimes
sometimes
you have
that
to
because
still
she
come
said
there.
we will not be spending
Mm-hmm.
every week.
Mm.
Mama no, Mama
Yeah.
no.
And even the person
Why don't
on the
you
bed
give thanks to God? Yes.
also
He's
Mm.
feel
tired
like
already. He said, why don't I give thanks to God and
Yeah.
move on and
Mm.
say thank you to God for the little period
Mm-hmm.
we spent together
that was
with
the closure that you
and
had.
that was it. It's just like someone eating the meal. Pam.
So
And immediately I
Yes,
said,
round of applause for today.
so my own advice is hang on. If you have any problem, whatever you are going through, you are not the only one. If everybody comes out and starts saying,
mm,
nǹkan báyìí ló ṣe mí,
Mm.
aunty, uncle, you will thank God and say, èmi go tó nǹkan kan. So please hang on. Believe in there is God and God
Yeah.
loves every soul.
Yeah.
He's in us, he's in me, and he's in you.
Thank you, Pastor D. Does anyone have any word of encouragement? Also.
okay, I'll just say never stop trusting God.
Yeah.
Right? Because, when people go through things, I'll tell you that that's even when it's more difficult to trust. Because then you can't pray. Then you just feel that the whole world is on you. By then you think, even if there are other people going through that same thing, you don't see it. You just see that you're the only one going through, whatever it is. Don't give up on God. Don't give up on, if you're on medications, don't just say you're throwing it away. Take your medications, do your normal routine and everything you need to do, and hang on God. Because at the end of the day, He loves us. He loves us so much that you can even think or imagine. So, and He can't give up on you. So even when you try
Give
giving
up
up
on
on
Him.
yourself, God still loves you.
And for me, just remember that whatever it is you are going through, it will take long.
Yeah.
But then you need to be sure that God is in it with you. If He is in it with you, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be. It might seem like, oh God, I'm the only one. Everywhere looks dark. And I watched a film where a woman, she didn't have a child. Her friend that had an option of going for one miracle service had a child. And the friend invited her over. At the end of the day, it was a prayer of someone that God sent her to that brought about the child. And it just know that once God is in it, He has this way of arranging things that we as humans never understand. But then at the end of the day, we will still give Him thanks. We will still give Him thanks. And then it will be much, much better than we if we sit down, we wouldn't even have been able to imagine such an ending to it. But just know that He will do it. He is not man.
And
God does not
every other thing
disappoint.
you've gone through.
He will do it.
Okay, I also am going to say that God knows that you have the capacity to go through whatever it is that you're going through. And that is why He said, I think there's a part in the scripture that says that He's not going to give you a challenge that you cannot take or you cannot overcome. So He knows your capacity. Sometimes you don't know how strong you are. until the
Yeah.
option you have is being strong,
Mm.
right? So you have the capacity, you have everything it takes to go through. It's not going to be easy. We are not saying that we know whatever it is that you're going through right now. We're not saying it's easy. We know that, but you have the capacity. You have been doing it. So keep keeping on. Keep believing. All right. So it's been pastor mode, but now it's game.
Pastor.
All right, game time, everybody. Are we ready? All right. So our game today. Start a sentence with the last word of the previous sentence. So who is going to start? Should I start? You say you should start. Yeah. So if you're starting, it's coming this way.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Start.
So,
However, whichever. Yeah, start.
so
Just
which
start.
way?
Favor is a pretty girl.
Pretty.
Girls.
Okay. Girl. Sorry. Okay,
Okay, so Auntie Dayo, start again, please.
start again.
Okay.
Do the favor thing again.
Okay.
As expo.
Yes,
Favor has a lovely smile.
I can smile too.
You know,
you're getting it. Smiles, kinika, you just say.
Oh!
Cancel.
Cancel.
Should I start?
I missed it.
Okay, start.
Oh yeah, start.
Okay. I love my shoes.
Oh, shoes makes our outfit pop out.
Pop out is it?
It's check up out
Okay,
is
pop
it?
out is it?
It is good. Goodness and mercy shall follow me.
Me.
Alright, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did. Thank you for being a part of Chat with Olajumoke.
Yeah.
We will see you again next time. God bless you.
Bye.